to be afforded the opportunity to speak before you today, this fine day, as we stand upon the threshold of a most momentous commemoration. Why, the 250th anniversary of the founding of our United States of America. Huzzah! So is it not, my fellow citizens, a chance for us to remember, to celebrate, and to rediscover who we are as a nation? I entreat you, each and every one of you, to consider that you, my friends, are the heirs to all that we endured during that long and arduous struggle years ago. You, my friends, you are the caretakers of history and memory. So visit your historic sites and your museums. From Suffolk to Sag Harbor, from Sagtikos to Smithtown. Have your children walk in the places where Washington rode. Teach your generations to come that liberty and freedom has its very roots in the soil of Suffolk County, Long Island. Huzzah! For I say history is not dry dust. Why, it is a living marrow of this nation. Alas, I want to thank you, elected officials, esteemed press, and honored guests, for you have granted me voice once more. Now you stand upon a threshold once more, and another door, leading into the semi-quincentennial of our nation's founding. Are you ready to participate in America 250?
Yes!
Are you going to celebrate with your fellow citizens right here in Suffolk County, Long Island 250? Yes! Then my work here is done. I bid you a fond farewell with charity and felicity, and remain your obedient servant, Judge Isaac Thompson.
Good morning. If you're able to, please rise for the presentation of the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Mark McLaughlin, Chief of Staff to Assemblywoman Jody Giglio.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Mark, and you can all be seated. Welcome, everyone. On behalf of the Honorable Peter Fox Cohallen, who could not be here, he sends his regrets that he could not join us today. My name is Sheriff Errol Toulon Jr., and it is my honor to be here as we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. As the 67th Sheriff of Suffolk County, I understand the importance of history, especially as I serve in an office that has existed in this county since 1683, before America was America. I believe it's important that we take time to reflect on our shared history, especially in a county so rich with it. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our host for today's 250th anniversary kickoff, Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine. County Executive Romaine has been a dedicated public servant and a steadfast supporter of law.
We remain strongly for the Patriot cause. And we would be sitting here in August of 1776 worrying about the future of this country, because soon the largest battle of Long Island would be fought, the largest battle in the Revolutionary War. It was the largest gathering of the British fleet. And I see so many who love history. I see Noel Gish. No, give away. Noel used to teach with me when I was a teacher at Hop Park, long retired, but someone that has always taught and loved Long Island history. Holding hands with Kathy Curran from the Gardner Foundation, who has done so much. And was, at one point, many, many years ago, when I was a legislator, she was the director of the Suffolk County Historical Museum in Riverhead. And now she does the Gardner Foundation, and she's Santa Claus to many organizations. So if you need money, she's the gal, and if you've got a good cause, it's history.
She was my art teacher.
I look out, I see Georgette. Georgette, give a wave. All the way from Sag Harbor and all the way from Brookhaven Town. Does a great job talking about our history and all parts of our history, just not some parts of our history. I see a former presiding officer, Wayne Horsley, who I believe is deeply involved in the Babylon Historical Society. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he does a great job. I see Mrs. Russell. Give a wave. Not the Mrs. Russell from the Gilded Age, but the Mrs. Russell who is the Brookhaven historian who has done a tremendous job in the town of Brookhaven. So I know that they're giving me a list of who I should see, but I look out and I see all my friends, I see all the people that were involved in the 250th anniversary. From Patchogue, how are we doing? And also the chairman of the Suffolk County Historical Society. Thank you. So I could spend all day mentioning people, but let me, they gave me a list that I should mention. We do have our county clerk, who is very important. His historic records are there. I served in that job for 16 years, so I can tell you a little bit about the history of that office. Vinny Pulio. Vinny. We have our money man, someone that worked for me in the county clerk's office, someone that was a legislator with me and is now in his third term as our county comptroller, John Kennedy. Where are you, John? We have a couple state assembly people, which is always good because they can help us shake the money tree up in Albany. Assemblyman DeStefano, where are you? There he is. Can't miss him, got a shirt on. And we have Assemblyman Keith Brown. All the way from out east, who, by the way, is also my assemblywoman, Jody Giglio. They have me. I hope they included everyone on this list, but we have Steve Flatteran, an assemblyman from this area. Excuse me, a county legislator from this area. Stephanie Bontempi. Stephanie? There she is. Jason Richburg. Our minority leader. Trish Bergen. Also a county legislator. Jim Mazzarella, my county legislator. Sammy Gonzalez. He's on the mend. Okay. Leslie Kennedy. Dominic Thorne. And a guy I've worked very closely with. We served in the legislature together. We were very interested in the history of the Three Village area, Steve Engelbright. Got that beat, Steve. No, he's not here, but he sent a representative, and that is Chad Lennon. Where's Chad's representative? Right down there. Chad, for those who don't know, was promoted yesterday in a ceremony in Riverhead at the legislature to lieutenant colonel in the Marines, and he looked great in his uniform. Now, I want to thank Isaac Thompson, who rang the bell, gave the welcome. Thank you so much. And it's my job now, and I'm sure I've missed a couple people, because I know I've missed the Islip Town clerk. This work, you know, come on up, say hello. Karen Dunn Chesney, who is my councilwoman in the town of Brookhaven. Give a wave. Okay. And Nick Caracappa. How could I ever forget? Here's a guy that he shows up to work every single day to fight for his constituents. So thank you for what you do. I see our health commissioner there. Give a wave, Dr. Pickett. What you don't know about this guy, we should have him up here singing the national anthem also. He's a singer. He's a singer. So, and you don't have to ask, is it the singer or the song? He's a singer. So, God bless. It's great to be here. Who did I miss? Oh! My friend, come on up, our former presiding officer.
He's the money tree.
Who represents the governor. You want to say a couple words? Come on up.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Mr. County Executive. On behalf of Governor Hochul, for those who don't know, I'm Rob Calarco, and I am the Assistant Secretary for Intergovernmental Affairs for Governor Hochul. This is a great celebration. Suffolk County is one of the oldest places in New York State, and what better place to kick off our 250th celebration than right here in Suffolk County. Thank you, County Executive, for allowing me to be a part of this program.
Thank you. I tell him all the time, whisper in the governor's ear, don't forget about Long Island. Don't forget about Suffolk County. And we have a councilwoman from the town of Riverhead. Give a wave, Miss Merrifield. Who else did I miss? Hopefully, I'm not missing anyone, because we all should be here for the ceremony. This is our way of saying happy birthday to our country that we love. And it's going to be a heck of a celebration. We have a lot of events planned. I got to tell you, we may not have done so well in the Battle of Long Island. We lost it. We had to retreat, and Long Island fell under the British. This house was their headquarters for Long Island. And they also ceded other houses. Who's from Smithtown? There we go. They took over the Presbyterian Church and turned it into a stable. They did not show respect. And they took over another famous house, the Floyd estate. William Floyd. There were only 4 signers, 56 signers from the Declaration of Independence, 4 which came from New York, only 1 from Long Island, William Floyd. And I am praying that the National Seashore will renovate that house and have it open for the 4th of July. And I cannot thank Kristen McKay and her staff. Where are you, Kristen? who is doing a great job. And the other day, I think it was Monday, we braved the heat, the sun, but most of all the mosquitoes, because we were down at the Manor of St. George. And we were taking a tour of that manor, which is in trust, and hoping to do some ceremonies over there for the 250th. More important, yes. And we are going to do that because the only major conflict on Long Island during the British occupation, a lot of little fights back and forth, but the major one was at the Manor of St. George when Benjamin Talmadge, I believe it was in December of 1780, rode across from Connecticut and fought with the British. They had built a fort at the Manor, seized the fort, won the battle, retreated on the way home, burned hay at Coram, and then went back to Connecticut. But the Manor of St. George, William Floyd Estate, Sagtikos Manor, we are going to talk about all of our history. Is that Richard Martin there? Give a wave, Richard. There's the guy that's in charge of all the historic houses in this county. It's a huge job, and he needs some help. And we're going to try to save as many of these historic houses as we possibly can. We have a commitment. For those who care about their history, we will never lose our way. We will never lose our way until we forget where we came from, and we forget our history, and we forget all the sacrifice that people did to make this country the great country it is today. But I want to mention two mayors, and this guy, Mayor Smith. Now, you may recognize that name. He's the mayor of Nessequag. But his predecessor was Bull Smith, the founder of Smithtown. Smithtown was founded 1664-65. And I've got to tell you, Mayor, where are you?
Right there.
Yeah, stand up, please. He got a land grant. I think it was from Indians out east, Wyandanch. And he took that land grant and it said as much as you can ride in one day on a bull. Thus the name Bull. Yeah, thank you, right, absolutely. And the gardeners. And guess what? He rode all the boundaries of Smithtown, including Bread and Cheese Hollow Road on the western boundary by Huntington. Tremendous. And now he's mayor, a descendant of the original settlers of Smithtown. He is the mayor of Nessequag, a great village. Thank you. And we have Mayor Shepro. Where are you, Mayor Shepro? Where is she?
Right there, under the tree. Under the tree.
There you go. She is the mayor of Port Jefferson. It used to be called Drowned Meadows. And if you have any question about that, go to Heavy Rain and stand by the harbor and you'll understand why. But guess what? She's done a great job, and they changed the name to honor our third president, Tom Jefferson, who I am going to introduce now. I want to thank the Color Guard. They did a great job, including a guy that was the former planner for the county and now is the planner for the village. Give a wave, come on. There he is. Huzzah! Yeah. And he goes to all of these things. So thank you. Thank you to the Color Guard. Thank you for everyone that's going to help us celebrate. This is a great country. We don't do enough to remember our roots, where we came from. Because when we know where we came from, we'll have a much better vision of where we're going. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce someone that sat down and wrote the Declaration of Independence, that talked about human rights, that talked about that we have unalienable rights as human beings, not to a sovereign, but to ourselves. And that person is none other than our third president, Thomas Jefferson. Tom, are you here?
Yes, sir.
I know the hair color is right. So, someone got it right. Thank you so much. So I am going to turn this over to Tom Jefferson He wrote our Declaration of Independence. He got Congress to go along. They pledged their lives, their sacred honor, and their fortunes, and many of them lost their fortunes. But God bless them all, and God bless Thomas Jefferson and the United States of America. Tom, this is all yours.
In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessity for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the laws of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind, requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, which evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evidences a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferings of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter the former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in Congress, assembled, appealing to the supreme judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be dissolved, and that as free, independent states, they have the power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Huzzah!
George Washington, I presume?
Absolutely, sir.
Would you like to say George Washington, who, if you read a history of the Revolution, know he had his ups and downs. He had his trials and tribulations. He always dealt with Congress, which was difficult
Absolutely.
and not easy.
No, it was
I
not.
have an easy time with the legislature because we all work together.
Very good.
But George did, and I have to tell you, he persevered. And he showed by that perseverance, by his patience, his understanding, his leadership, and his directions. Despite the shortcomings when he first took over, he was capable of leading and eventually made clear to all, despite others who tried to take over as commanding general, like General Gates or other generals, that he was heads and shoulders above them. And when a new nation was eventually formed, and we had a government when the Constitution was adopted in 1787, that there would be a president, and he would be elected in 1789 and serve 2 terms. And he set the precedents. So George, talk to us on this our day of celebration.
Absolutely, and thank you for your kind words, sir. Well, I know throughout the decades and the years, people like to sing my praise. I'm not a superhero like you have in your modern world. What I think of as the 75,000 men who fought for our independence in rotation for 8 long years. Sure, I left my home on May 6th, 1775, to sit there before Congress, sitting there trying to be unassuming in that doorway, till they made me commander-in-chief of this army. I knew full well I'm going to do my best. Am I the best tactician? No. But I was able to keep this army together. But think about 75,000 individuals. Whether they were coopers, cordwainers, tailors, shopkeepers, farmers. These are the men that fought for our independence. 8 long years of hardships. Sure, I'm wearing a nice, beautiful uniform in your eyes before you. The one that was created by an indentured servant on my property from England by the name of Andrew Judge. But it was out of my own expense. I think about those long years, especially the early years in the war, where most of the men didn't have uniforms. If you're a farmer, you're wearing your hunting smock. Whatever trade you have, whatever type of clothing you have, whether it is a fine gentleman's suit or not, these were the early uniforms. We didn't have armaments, short on muskets, short on gunpowder. Our good friend John Adams could tell you the stories that he writing to his dear wife Abigail about the need for gunpowder. No muskets. You're a farmer, bring your musket with you when you enlist in the army. Occasionally we'll give you a little extra bounty for that. Think about the early years of the war. Think about the largest battle that took place on the western coast of this island that most of you call the Battle of Brooklyn, the Battle of Long Island. During that battle, hardly any of the men were really wearing fine regimental coats, like the gentleman you find before you here, the bottom of the stairs. Some were carrying pitchforks and flailing sticks to train, so we don't damage the muskets we have, so we don't waste the gunpowder. It was an 8-year struggle. And towards the end, starting from 1778, that gentleman that came over to Long Island and started that important spy ring that we needed to try to win this war. We're outgunned. We're outmanned. We don't have a navy whatsoever. How are we going to win this war? Sure, a lot of people like to proclaim, I never tell a lie. Truth be known, I had to tell a lot of lies with that Culper spy ring. Otherwise, we might not have ever won the Battle of Yorktown. The British felt very secure in the summer of 1781, occupying the city of New York. And when they thought we were going to attack them, which was a ruse, so I could march 3 columns down to Virginia and finally end this war, they fell for that lie. They delayed sending out troops to help Lord Cornwallis and Yorktown on the peninsula of the James River. They arrived too late, 3 days after the surrender. So I want you to think about the importance of every single individual that was living here on this island, whether they were male, female, free, or enslaved. They helped out this cause for independence. 8 years it took to gain our independence. Did it end at Yorktown? No. I was still in negotiations with Sagtikos Carleton in the city of New York about when the British are going to leave and when are they going to take their 35,000 loyalist friends with them. I first met him in May of 1781 when we had a meeting in what today is called the 1776 House. Back then was called Maybe's Tavern in the village of Old Tapan. And there were hard discussions. I'm trying to negotiate with the British. But finally, the day when they left, November 25th, 1783, our evacuation day. And the last thing, the last British warship, the flagship of Sir Guy Carleton saw when he left New York Harbor on the 5th of December of 1783 was a very large liberty pole. And that liberty pole was on the western coast of this island, which you refer to as Brooklyn, in the village of New Utrecht. And it was a large American flag. A very bold statement we made. But I want each and every one of you to remember the importance of this anniversary that you are celebrating now. And never forget the struggles that we had early on. Thank you very much.
At this time, we'd like Megan Adamo to come up here. She's going to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her with the light from the night from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
Thank you. And we're going to end. You think those muskets are for show? I think they're going to show you that they're for more than show. So we're going to hear a little bit from our muskets, and then we're going to hear a song that was heard back then, Yankee Doodle Dandy. So please.
To the front.
What?
Sure, but make sure you thank the committee that put this together, because I think there's
Thank you. Now that we have everyone's attention, thank you to the Sagtikos Manor. Thank you to the committee for the 250th anniversary of our independence, and for all those who serve our history and remind us of the greatness of this nation and the struggles and sacrifices that brought us to this day. But particularly thank you to those who maintain Sagtikos Manor. Thank you to our militia. Thank you to all the members of the 250th committee. Thank you to Kristen McKay, who's done a great job heading it up. So let's go.